Good morning.
Hi.
So we have today on Art Conversation with us uh, Virginia Maria, straight from Brazil. And Virginia studied applied theatre at Central School of Speech and Drama, University of London. And after that, she went back to Brazil, started working with different communities. And now she's teaching applied theatre in the university there. So we'll try to understand uh, the kind of work that she did with the communities, how it went, what happened with the communities, and what she's doing nowadays. So, Virginia, welcome to Art Conversation.
Thank you.
So,
Very glad to be here.
right. So, I would like to know you did your master's from
Hmm.
Central and then
Yeah.
you went back and you started doing what?
Okay. First of all, I want to explain a little bit why I stopped at Central. I got to Central. I worked for many years inside non-profit organizations,
Okay.
NGOs, and one of them, which I stayed like the longest, it was called Revivarte. And the way we worked was like this. We had this partnership
Okay.
because here in Brazil, when you finish, like when you enter high school, something like that, you can choose. You can go to scientific studies
Right.
or you can become a teacher. So you do your high school, and you can become a teacher as you study during your high school. Okay. So of course, when you're in high school and you're learning to become a teacher, you have placements
Right.
in other schools, okay, where you can begin your practice, your teaching practice. And my organization, what they did was we had this partnership with some of these schools. Most of them, they're public, like state-run schools. And they stay during the day, during the morning in the school, and in the afternoon, they stay with us. And
Okay.
over there, what they did, they had theater lessons, music lessons, group therapy, ethics, philosophy, yoga, meditation. And once a week, they had to plan a class with all what they learned to apply in other public schools
Okay.
with younger children. Okay,
Right.
so it came a point where I thought, okay, I'm what I know and what I can offer, these young teachers, it's not good enough. I need more. And I came from a dancing background. I did Olympic gymnastics for a long time. I was already an actress, a dancer. So I needed to find a place where I could join all that because I was not planning to leave education and I was not planning to leave arts.
Right.
So when I found Central, that's where I could, finally merge everything together. And when I came back, um, I took my MA with you at Central, and then I came back. When I came back, this NGO wasn't working anymore. They had a brief stop, and I started teaching at the university. And what I found out inside university is, well, I was suspicious for a while, but then I could like be sure of it. Is that I don't know how children are in India, but here in Brazil, they can be very like lively. They have a lot of energy,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have inside your pedagogy course, as you're learning to become a teacher, anything related to arts or the body, you know, to think about how you teach with your whole body, how you teach with your voice, how you teach, and how you deal with all this energy and all
Right.
this creativity and all this spontaneity.
Okay.
So, so because of that, I started working with applied theater for the teachers in process. you know, inside the pedagogy courses. And as my work got stronger inside the two universities that I work with, you know, I could do more work related to applied theater for teachers.
Right.
You know, so far I've been doing that, and my PhD.
Yeah, of course. So I think that was very important work that you were doing. So taking back what you have learned, and then you're equipped more and more teachers with this particular mm, tool of engagement. So my next
Sorry,
question,
it broke down a little bit.
I was saying that it was a important work that you have trained other teachers as well, right? So my next
Yeah.
question would be, so what happened next? So are these teachers taking that back to their classes and
Okay.
applying it, using it, or what?
Okay. First of all, I have a little bit of trouble with the term education, because when you think about education, you think like, I know everything and I'm
Yeah,
educating someone. So it's more about mediation than
right.
education. So when I'm in class with my teachers, I think looking back, I think I've always been like this, but now I'm more conscious of it. What I can do is I can show them my interest in thinking, in overcoming my own taboos, my own, you know, like how can I be better? You know, how can I offer more? How can I, you know, and this is inspire me as an educator, you know,
Yeah.
to be like this, like to be more fully, you know, like about myself and about the world every day. So I can share that with them, and I can show them how I got to the point where I've got. And
Okay.
if they're inspired, you know, to do that, then we can think about organizing, you know, and how they're going to do that strategy with their students.
Okay.
So
It's
I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I think
no,
it's
I think what you said is more about experiencing first, then realizing, and then implementing. I think you have talked about it, if I'm not wrong.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
because there is no recipe, you know, like
Yeah. Of course.
each body represents one culture.
Yeah.
Like it's a, so each encounter is one encounter. So I cannot think about a class, or I cannot think about teachers.
Right.
And my teachers, like they cannot, my students, teachers slash teachers, they cannot think about their students or a group of students. They need to think about, you know, each individual, like,
Yeah.
and then think about the strategies they're using, you know, with them.
So during this time, you have also worked with communities, and you have
Yes.
undertaken few projects with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
could you tell us, because it's very fascinating that you're coming from the land of Augusto Ball, and so what he made all over the world is the history that we are experiencing. So
Yeah.
what kind of community projects that you have undertaken, and how did people responded to it?
Okay, so in 2015, actually, I worked with Julien Boal,
Oh,
with, yes, for a long time. We worked for 2 years together. But
okay. Just just
as,
just to interrupt, for those who don't know, Julian is the son of Augusto Ball, and Augusto Ball, who has introduced this idea of theater of the oppressed, and they're working almost worldwide with different communities, and that's wonderful work they are doing. So Julian has now, I think, taken over the entire work.
him and Cecilia,
Yeah.
Augusto's second wife, they have an institute here called Institute Boal. They have even material in English, so you can check on the website. They have a lot of good stuff and lots of videos. And they work closely with a theater company that I work here in Brazil, which is called Companhia do Latão.
Okay.
So Latão's company. And by the time they had a celebration of Augustus Boal's birthday, and they thought that would be a nice celebration to make a theater play out of his work.
Okay.
Yeah, and they invited me to join the company, which I was very glad. And we had to study through Julian Boal's point of view, which was very interesting because he, like the world changed from Augustus, right?
Yeah.
A decade from now to now.
Right.
So Julian brings a fresh look to Boal's work. It didn't change, but it's more like contextualizing and, you know, rethinking really about the job. And he is the one who could do that. So we learned a lot, and from them we were able to do this theater play, and we toured for around 2 years, which was very nice. And we toured all around Brazil, and Brazil is very diverse, it's huge, and many different problems from one state to the other. So we could think about a lot. You know, I'm doing so far, well, they are very political, and I'm still doing a very political theater and now movies, because I'm slowly shifting to directing now.
Okay.
Like first short movies, but now I'm starting to think about, you know, longer pieces. I'm not sure. Okay, so here we have like Boal for a long time here in Brazil. Funny thing, he was not considered a theater man because from people like this, from the teacher's point of view, from the practitioners at the time point of view, he didn't have any aesthetics, so
Okay,
he could not. So he could not be considered. He could not be considered a theater person.
Okay.
So yeah, but that went on, and but because of this first moment, what happened was the people from the education field drank from that, because we had Boal and we had Paulo Freire.
Paulo Freire, yeah.
Yeah, and they talk beautifully together. So when the theater people said, no, I don't want Boal, the education people, they said, oh, come to us. So Boal's work were recognized here in Brazil first by the educators and then by the theater community. So for me, right now, it's very comfortable to work with Boal inside the university, because if you talk about Boal and if you talk about Paulo Freire, even outside the theater people that are inside the education field nowadays, they say like, oh, okay, they know who they are, you know, they know who they are.
That's
and what
very
they've done.
relevant, timely relevant.
Yeah. So for example, one of the universities I work with distance learning, and one of the subjects I teach is theater and education. And one of the practitioners that my students they most related with is Augusto Boal, you know.
Okay.
So, and even with distance learning, you know, because what we try to do is because he's so relatable, and his books, you know, with the exercise and everything. Not even the theater of the oppressed is more complex. But if you start with the books of the exercises, 200 exercises for actors and non-actors, and stuff like that, even long distance students, they can practice, you know, with their neighbors, with their community, with their students, with their husbands and wives, you know. So the feedback that we get from them is really, really powerful, and we're really happy with that.
But is the community very much open to respond when it comes to these kind of process that you follow?
Yes. Culture here in Brazil, we are very, I think that's why we're struggling so far, so much with the quarantine right now. It's because we're very like, very, we like to hug, we talk loud, we talk with our hands, you know,
Dance and
and
carnival and all those things.
yeah, like, I don't know if you could say that, but it's more like, you know, we dilate
Right.
a lot. So we're very much spontaneous. So yeah, if you try a game with someone, even if you don't know them, you know, even they if even though they're shy, you know, they can be shy, and they're not gonna say to you like, they're not gonna like be in a cocoon, you
Mm.
know, and react
Yeah.
badly to it. You know, what they're gonna do is like, oh, I'm shy, and you just, you know, stand out your hand and say, you're not alone, let's do it together, you know. And normally they come, you know. We're very playful. I think that the right word is like playful. We're
Yeah.
very playful. So
I,
every
I
time you expose them to a game, I think they'll go for it.
I guess that's an advantage for a facilitator. So
Yeah,
he does not spend a lot of time and energy to convince people to be a part of the process, but he can
yeah,
directly start engaging people in the process.
yeah, yeah. We try here not to convince people to do it, because I don't know what we've learned, and I'm generalizing here because I talk with my peers about it. Um, when someone is really resistant on doing something, it's not because of that activity, but because they have some trauma,
Yeah.
like heavy trauma before. So we try to go slowly. Like, if you want to watch, just sit and watch. If the person is sitting and watching, you know, other people doing it, we are cool with it, you know,
Right.
because they are being exposed to the environment somehow.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
we try
guess
to.
I guess we follow the similar principle here, but
Mm-hmm.
I think clarifying that would help some of the facilitators
Yep.
to how not to deal with the participants, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
very important.
Yep.
All right, so coming next to you're doing a PhD, and you have chosen very interesting topic. So I really want you to talk about it because that's very relevant for the theater practitioners or people who are working in the area of applied theater, theater of the oppressed. So I think that's very relevant to talk about.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I would like to explain a little bit how the structure of a PhD in Brazil is. We are from 4 to 5 year. We study for, you know, from 4 to 5 years. Um, we have a number of credits that we have to accomplish
Yep.
in able in order to be able to, you know, to get a degree. And so in the first year, we have like subjects that we have to study. And from the second year on, it's a mix of study groups, subjects, and the actual writing
Yep.
of the thesis. Okay. And in order to enter this program, all of us, we need to work on a pre-project. So, of course, you can change along the way, okay? But you have to prove um, that you already have a bibliography, you have a theme, and you can relate that to the program you're applying to.
Right.
So here, so if I'm applying here for a PhD, I have to deliver my pre-project. I have to go through an interview, and they also need to look at my curriculum.
Yep.
Well, the platform we use here, it's called Lattice. It's from Latin, and where they are going to evaluate how many articles have I written, chapters, book chapters, you know, like my work experience and something like that.
Right.
Okay. So I'm in my first year. So I'm taking my units now, I'm taking my subjects now. And the pre-project that I applied with, and I swear I had no idea Corona was coming when I thought about that. um, but because I'm also a clown, I've been working with clowning for a long time now. I decided to think about okay, so if, how can I explain that in few words? Okay, I'm talking about clowning and my teachers, my students slash teachers. Okay, so
is it
if I assume,
clowning
huh?
in education?
Yes, it's about clowning in education, but as I start studying it, it became a little bit more
Focus.
that like
Yeah.
yeah, more deep, because first of all I thought about, okay, I want to do an experiment, um, like giving my students slash teachers inside the university clowning exercises and see how the universe of the clown can relate to their practice inside the classroom,
Right.
and as a teacher as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but then I start thinking about, what if clowning was a virus? And that was before Corona. That's what I was saying, you know. So because here in Brazil, teachers they have been daily discredit. You know, unfortunately, we come from a country, they don't support teachers or the education as well as they should be.
Okay.
So the reason why I start doing and thinking about the clowning is because, for example, what is the clown? I know we have lots of clowns, but the clowns the clown I'm focusing on, he's the one that lost everything. He lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
And because he lost everything, he can shout to everyone, you know, the rotten things of the world, what is not right in the world, what needs to be changed,
Right.
what needs to be changed. So if this universe, this, let's say archetype, I'm not sure, okay, I'm still researching on it and thinking about it, but if I use this clowning, you know, this method, this behavior, this practice, I'm not sure what, as a virus, and I put inside a system that is already collapsing, which is my education, my field here in Brazil,
Right.
what could happen? What could happen? And then Corona came, and now like
You're actually
I need to
experienced.
do, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because I think that all of us, you know, all the teachers around the world, we are rethinking our methods,
Yes.
because right now we need to keep long distance and everything, and related to we need to relate to technology and media and all of that. And most of us, before this, we could choose not to relate to that if you
Right.
wanted to,
Right.
but now it's mandatory.
I think that's the primary reason why we are having this interview today.
Yes.
We are actually using the time that Corona has given to all of us
Yeah.
to do some quality knowledge exchange and
Yes.
gain some kind of insight out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because uh, I'm talking about educators in general, like teachers in general, but for us, you know, we are applied theater practitioners, so we are supposed to be like more in the moment, you know, and be with the group and the group energy. And how does it work? Like everything shifted. Now I'm inside my room and I'm talking to you, you're in India, and we're talking about theater. How do we do theater from here,
Right.
you know? So it's a really powerful opportunity. It's a really beautiful opportunity for us to think.
Absolutely. To rethink about the to methodology, process, idea, uh, about a lot of things that we usually do.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Before going to London, I still am, but um, I enter a group only with women called Ada Machine, where we worked and researched with technology and what means to be present nowadays.
Okay.
So, what does it mean to be present? You're not here, close to me, but I can feel you. I can
Yes.
feel energy. We're exchanging things. So, what does it mean to be present?
Mm.
And I think that we need to continue developing these thoughts nowadays. So, what does it mean to be present? And as a teacher, what are my skills? My body. So you can only see like the tips of my hands, but I'm talking with my whole body here,
Yeah.
inside this little frame. So
I
yeah,
think
we
that
need to think about that.
that's a very relative example because that just mm, caught me in, when we learn about writing a research proposal, what they taught us to find a good question. And that's something I always teach either my teachers or the facilitators. The primary job of facilitator is to find good quality questions and not the answers for that. So I think this being present makes a lot of sense. So before we close down, just the last question. What do you think, in your opinion? Because you have been working in theater for a very long time, you have seen diverse kind of a theater. You're in education as well. What do you think? What is the future of applied theater?
Wow, tricky thing, huh?
And don't I asked this question to James Thompson, Helen Nicholson as well, and I'll keep asking
Okay.
to all the applied theater practitioners that I meet. So here it is for you.
I'm really glad I haven't seen that interview before because I don't want to get contaminated.
Yeah.
But um, I think that nowadays first of all we need to think about applied theater not globally but locally.
Hmm.
And I think that okay, I think I have a question, an answer to that. Um, okay, when you think of the good thing about working in theater is that, of course, even when you're doing a monologue, it's a group thing.
Yep.
You're talking with your costume designer, with your lighting designer, and when you're in a group of artists, you're like brainstorming all the time. You're relating all the time, and because you are in relation with someone all the time, you're also changing yourself
Right.
all the time, right? I think that if I can work with my crew here, with all my students and my colleagues from the theater and from the movies and from the TV, because they're also artists, and I can understand the tools that we have that are good enough so I can offer you, and you understand with your group what are the tools that your culture provides you that you can offer me,
Right.
then we have a really good future. Because I think that the good thing about theater is not when you have a good director, but when a good director understands that a good play is not forcing an artist, is not forcing an actor to do
Right.
something that he wants, but to flourish the actor to do something that's precious for him. I don't know if I made myself clear.
Yeah, I
Like, but
think I
it's more about herding the community, hearing the community, what they have
yeah,
to,
uh,
because we have so many knowledge, so much knowledge already.
right. So I think in a nutshell, I can say that what you're talking about is getting back to our roots and identify and relate ourselves with those roots and find out and then use that knowledge for the betterment of the community. And if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think this corona is also trying to tell us the same thing, that
Mm-hmm.
go back to your roots, try to understand who you are, be in your limit, behave responsibly, right? I think
And honor yourself.
honor yourself and honor nature as
Honor
well.
yourself. Because once you understand your trajectory, is that how you say?
Yeah,
Once you understand where you were born and where you're heading to, you need to honor yourself with your faults and your good and your good things.
absolutely
And once you honor yourself, then you're ready to share your story with other people.
true.
It's very
I
important
guess,
for
yeah,
us to honor yourself.
that was very interesting conversation, Virginia. And yes, we have started because Corona gave us this too much of time being at home and doing nothing, and we have actually started connecting with a lot of people all over the world. But we will keep continue this dialogue uh,
Okay.
even when the world is back online. We'll keep doing it because we need to validate our practices as well, and we need to have this kind of exchange, right?
I'm very glad to be here, and I'm honored to be in a program where Helen Nicholson and Jen and Thompson. Oh my God, I'm such a huge fan of.
Yeah. Oh, they're
So
wonderful.
thanks.
But
They
we
are wonderful. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. And
I,
this conversation gave me a lot to think about as well.
yeah. So thank you
It
very
was
much
a
for
very
your
good
time,
exchange.
and stay safe, and good luck with your PhD. And I
Thank
know
you.
you have to do a lot of work, so all the best.